Hello students. So students, in the previous class we were talking in the chapter that is separation of the substances. In this chapter student, till now we have discussed the different types of separating techniques and we understand the different separating technique and where we have to use these separating techniques. Okay. So in this one student, till now we have discussed about that of the sedimentation, we have discussed about the decantation, we have discussed about the loading and filtration process also. So we studied that how the filtration process is very important, and then we also discussed about the evaporation process also students. Okay, so evaporation process is what in which soluble substance can be separated from each other from that of the liquid by the process of evaporation. So students, you see, if suppose we have taken a sugar and a water together and we want to separate them from each other, you are knowing about it that sugar easily get dissolved in the water. It is soluble in the water. Okay, so when you provide heat to the water, the sugar starts, the water which is present in it will start evaporating and get converted into the water vapor, and finally it vaporizes, leaving behind the sugar crystal. Because you know that the solid particle do not vaporizes, it do not get evaporated by heating. So we can say that the water get easily evaporated into the water vapor. Okay. So we can say that the process of evaporation can be used in separating the soluble substances from each other, that of the soluble solid one which gets easily dissolved in the water, and if we want to separate it, we can separate it by the process of evaporation. So this is the first thing about the evaporation student, and we know that one more thing that is very important, that even you have seen that we can extract the salt from that of the sea water by the process of evaporation only. Okay, so with the help of the process of evaporation, the separation of the salt can be done easily. Okay, on a large scale. Okay, so there also what we used to do, we used to take water, we used to dig the place into the, and we used to dig it, and we used to collect the water, the sea water, the saline water which consisting of a salt in it. Okay, and expose it to that of the sunlight. What you will observe that due to the exposure to that of the sunlight, all the water will get evaporated gradually, leaving behind the salt, and we can extract the salt from it. So this is the evaporation. Now there is a, you can say it's a drawback or a limitation is there of evaporation. Why student? You see, if suppose we have taken salt and we have taken water, we mix this together, it will become a salt solution, and then you want to separate it. So you are providing heat to it, water get evaporated and salt will remain behind. Now if you want both of them, because here you are not collecting the water, you are simply taking the salt and one of the component get evaporated, right? So evaporation process, it only involve the residue only, while the water portion, the liquid will get evaporated. Okay, but if we want both of them, that is we want water also and we want salt also. So in that case student, what method we should apply so that we get both of them? So there we cannot use the process of evaporation. There we can use another kind of a separating technique, and that separating method is known as a distillation method. So in the distillation method, again we are doing student, we are taking a solution consisting of a water, solution consisting of a salt in it. Okay, so water and salt, we mix this together and there is a formation of a salt solution. Now we have taken that salt solution in a beaker, okay, or in a flask, Okay, so we have taken it in a beaker or a flask, and now what we are doing, with the help of the process of a distillation, we will get the salt also and we will get the water also, both of them. But what happened in the evaporation? There we can only get the salt. Now you see, students, how? Let me tell you about the distillation, that this diagram. And after that we will write the points which involves in the distillation process. So you see, student, here, if suppose we have taken the solution here. Okay, so solution, we will say this is a salt solution. Any solution you can take, student. It is not necessary that you are using only the salt solution, but any of the solution in which the solid get easily dissolved in the water. Okay, so when you apply heat, you see here we are providing a heat here. Okay, so when you apply heat, what will happen? It will start boiling, it will start vaporizing. So water which is present in it will start vaporizing, and we can say that this whole tube will get covered with the vapors. Okay, so solution is there. When you apply heat to it, due to the continuous supply of a heat, this liquid which is consisting of a solid also, or the salt solution, the water which is present in it starts evaporating. Now this water evaporating, it means it get converted into water vapor, and these water vapor will be present here in this whole tube. Here, student, we have taken a thermometer to measure the temperature. Increase in the temperature will explain that the heat is increasing, and due to which the water get easily evaporated. Okay, so this whole portion will be covered with the vapor, and this vapor is formed due to the continuous supply of a heat to the salt solution. Okay, so we are providing heat to the salt solution, due to which the formation of a vapor occurs. Now you see, student, this vapor will start coming from here, it will reaches to here, and finally from this, it will start coming to the pipe, to this pipe. Okay, so it will start coming to this pipe here, from here to here, start moving like this, students. Now you see, here a kind of a condenser is there, a glass. Already this is a packed one, so it will not going to enter, the water will not going to enter. But here you see, student, a pipe is there. From the pipe, cold supply of a cold water, continuous supply of the cold water is given, and from here the water will comes out. So from one side the water is coming, the another side the water is coming out. So you see that when you supply a cold water, due to the process of a condensation, this water vapor will get converted into the water droplets. Let me tell you again about it. You see, students, that if a vapor is there, we can take an example of your mother. If she is boiling milk, okay, and after that she lowers the flame, or she off the flame, okay, and after that she has taken a lid and keep it on that of the container in which the milk has been kept. You will see that after a few hours, when you will open the lid, what you will find that the lid consisting of a small water droplets in it. Now, why the formation of a water droplets occur? Basically, it occurred due to the process of a condensation. Okay, so here the condensation process, the water vapor as it reaches to the lid, there the temperature is low. Okay, and due to which the water vapor get converted into the water droplet. So as this water vapor comes in contact with the low temperature, it will get converted into the water droplets. We have seen when we were talking about in the water cycle that the water from the sea or the ocean, it get evaporated, and in the form of a water vapor, it will reaches to a certain height. There the temperature is low, so this water vapor gets converted into the water droplets, and thus formation of the clouds occur. Here also student the same thing happen. This cold water, continuous supply of the cold water lowers the temperature. Okay, and this water vapor, when it start moving from this pipe, so you will see that since the temperature is low, so water vapor gets converted into water droplets. Okay, so water droplets starts, this water vapor makes the conversion of the water vapor into water droplets. So this water droplets start coming from this pipe, and we can collect it in the form of a, with the help of any other container or any other beaker. Okay, and this is what, this is the distillate. Why we are using the term distillate means, you see student, when we were talking in the process of a filtration, we have used two words. One is the residue and the another one is the filtrate. Filtrate is what? The clear water which we get after using the filter paper or in the process of the filtration is known as filtrate. Same thing here, in the process of a distillation, the clear pure water which we get it in the distillation process, that is known as a distillate. Okay, so from here the water is continuously converting into the vapor and it will reaches to this pipe. This pipe, it is covered with the cold water, and due to the presence of the cold water, the temperature becomes lower, and as the temperatures become lower students, so water vapor get converted into the water droplets, and this droplet will be, we can take it in the beaker, and that is known as a distillate. Okay. So this was all about the distillation. So let me write some of the important points in case of a distillation process, students. So why we are using the process of a distillation? So in order to recover both salt as well as water, in order to recover both salt as well as water mixture, water distillation process is used. Okay, so to recover from that of the salt as well as from the water, the process from the salt solution, that process we use is the distillation process, because we are knowing that in the process of the evaporation only one will be recovered. So what basically happens in the process of the distillation? At first we will get the water vapor, which again goes to the process of a condensation, and finally we can obtain the water droplets. So we can write it. Distillation is a process of heating water It is a process of heating water to form water vapor. To form water vapors or steam, and then cooling, the hot water vapor to get back liquid. Okay, so we can say that the process of the distillation is basically used in which It is a process of heating water. You see student, we have taken the salt solution, and the salt solution consisting of a salt in it as well as the as well as a water is there. So there, when we are heating it, the salt solution, the water which is present in the salt solution, it will start evaporating. Okay, so we are heating the water so that the water will get converted into the water vapor and or steam, and finally by supplying the cold water to it, this steam or the water vapor again get back converted to that of the water droplet. So at first we are supplying water to it so that the water get converted to water vapor, and finally again supplying the cold water, so it will get converted into the water droplets again. Okay, so here what we are seeing? We are seeing that in this process two methods are involved, and that is evaporation, then condensation. Evaporation is there and condensation is there. Okay, so we can say that the first step which we are doing in the process of a distillation is we are supplying heat to it, and because of supplying heat to it, it gets converted into the water vapor. Okay, so the first step is the evaporation process. Okay, so we can say that evaporation, changing of water to water vapor, and here we can say changing of water vapor to water. Okay, so what we are doing at first, we are seeing that the evaporation process occur, and in the second step we see the condensation process occur. Okay, so we can say that it involves the two process. The first one is the evaporation process and the second one is the condensation process. Okay, so in this process students, we have seen that when we mix a salt solution, when we are heating it, this heat will make the water to evaporate. Okay, water to evaporate, and finally vapor moves to a condenser. Why we are saying a condenser student? Because there the supply of the cold water occur, and which help in the process of the condensation. So we can say that pipe in which the vapor was going, that pipe was known as a condenser. Okay, so water vapor move to the condenser, and from condenser water droplet formation. Water droplet formation, and this water droplets collected. Beaker. Wherever. Okay, so this is the whole process of that of the distillation occur. Okay, you see students, here in the condensation process also, I told you, I have given example to you that in the process of a condensation, you see that if suppose we will take a hot pan in which the water is boiling, and when you keep it in a cold water, after a few time you will see that the vapors which is present in it will get converted into the water droplets. Okay, so ultimately evaporation and the condensation process, it occurs in the process of a distillation. At first, evaporation occurs in which there is a change in the water to that of the water vapor occur, and when this water vapor moves to the condenser pipe where the cold water is coming, help in decreasing the temperature. So the process of the condensation occur and the water get converted into the water droplets can be collected into the another beaker. Okay, so this was all about the process of a distillation. Now we will move to the next topic. Now we will move to the next topic, student, in this one, and that is the saturated solution. Saturated solution. Let me write here. That is saturated solution. What is a saturated solution, student? Let me explain you with the help of an example. If suppose you have taken a beaker and which consisting of 100 ml of water in it. Now you added a 2 teaspoonful of sugar in it. Okay. Now again you will add the 2 teaspoonful of sugar. Again you will add the sugar in it, and continuously you are adding in it. Okay. Now before that, the first time when you added the sugar in it and you stir it, what will you observe? You observe that sugar get easily dissolved in the water. The second time again you added the sugar in it and you stir it again, you find that the sugar get easily dissolved in the water. Then you are added the third time, you are dissolving it, sugar dissolves in the water, and you are continuously adding the sugar in it. Okay, and ultimately the sugar will dissolve in it. While doing this, you will find that there a stage will come when if you are adding the sugar in it, the sugar does not get dissolved in it, but it will remain present at the bottom. It will remain settled at the bottom of the beaker or of the glass in which you have taken it. Okay, that stage of the solution is known as the saturated solution. So we can say that saturated solution is a solution in which no more solute can be added. That is known as a saturated solution. So we can write it. Saturated solution is a solution in which no more solute can be added. Okay, so no more solute can be added in a solution, and such kind of a solution is known as a saturated solution. You have seen, student, that if you are adding, if you are taking a water and you are continuously adding the water in sugar or a salt in it, after a few times or at a certain stage, you will observe that the sugar or the salt, it is not dissolving at all. Even though you are continuously stirring it, it is not dissolved, but it will remain at the bottom of the beaker. Okay, and that stage in which the solution or the liquid does not dissolve the solute in it, that solution is known as a saturated solution. It means in that solution, if suppose you add a more solute to it, more sugar to it, it will not going to dissolve in it, and such kind of a solution is known as a saturated solution. Okay. So that is the saturated solution, students. Now you see, students, that sometimes it happens that is it possible that the sugar which do not yet dissolve in the saturated solution, we will make it so that it will get dissolved in the water? Yes, by supplying heat to it. Okay, so when you provide heat, then it will allow more and more sugar to dissolve in it. I will give you a very good example of that, student. You have seen that your mother, if suppose she used to make a sweets, so while doing sugar syrup, you have heard about it. So while making it, she used to add more amount of a sugar in the water, and she used to heat it. Why is this so? Because she is knowing that the amount of the sugar is more as compared to the water. So, or the amount of both the sugar and the salt is almost equal, or she is knowing that the amount of the sugar is this much, that the water will be not able to dissolve it in it. So she used to heat the water and the sugar together for making the syrup, for making the sugar syrup. Right? So why is this so? Because when you heat it, the solubility of the water will increases, and due to which it will allow more and more sugar particles to get dissolved easily in the water. Okay, so we can say that we are able to make a solution. We are able to make a saturated solution is able to dissolve more sugar in it, by providing sufficient heat to it. Sufficient heat. Okay, so if you are providing sufficient heat to that of the saturated solution, so we can say that it will be able to get dissolved. The solute will get easily dissolved in it. Okay, now let me write it that how does it occur, student, or why does it occur? It basically occur due to increase in the solubility. So what we understand by the solubility? Maximum amount of a substance which gets dissolved in 100 gram of solvent at a particular temperature. At a particular temperature. Okay, so this is the definition of the solubility. Okay, so we can say that the maximum amount of a substance can be easily dissolved in the water. The maximum amount of a substance which get dissolved in 100 gram of a solvent at a particular temperature will determine the solubility of a substance. It means if a solvent is there which can dissolve more amount of a solute in the 100 gram of a solvent, that solubility will be higher than the other one. Okay, so we can say that if suppose we have taken 100 gram of water and we are adding the sugar in it. So after some time you will observe that you are continuously adding the sugar in it. After some time the water will be not able to dissolve the sugar in it. So that will be the solubility of the water. Now my question is that is it possible to increase the solubility? Yes. By increasing the temperature, we can make the water to dissolve more and more substance to it. So as we are making it able to dissolve more and more substance to it, so we are increasing the solubility also. So we can say solubility increases with the increase in temperature. Okay, so solubility increases with the increase in the temperature. More will be the solubility, more will be the temperature, more will be the solubility. Okay, so this was all about that of the solubility also. So saturated solution, student, we can say that when you increases the temperature, it will allow more solute particles to get dissolved in it. Okay, this is the saturated solution. Saturated solution is a solution in which no more solute can be dissolved easily. That is a saturated solution. What is the effect of heating the saturated solution? When you provide heat to a saturated solution, it will allow more and more solid particles to get dissolved in it. It means the solubility of the saturated solution can be increased by increasing the temperature. Okay.